gods have blessed me with their divine broth or coffee. Today, I want to talk to you about sound, audio, music in your games. What I'm going to do is show you two movies that you should be very familiar with. We are going to watch together each of the movies in 3 different ways. First, I will show you the movie with no audio at all, no sound, just visuals. Next, we'll watch it again, but this time I will add my own soundtrack, my own music to it. It will be clearly inappropriate for the particular scene that we are watching. And then finally, we will watch the movie, the scene, the way that it was intended to be watched. Unedited, clean, and uncut. By the end of the video, you will clearly see how important and impactful it is upon your game to not only choose to use audio at all, but to choose the appropriate audio. Let's take a look at this first scene together with no sound. Wonderful. Let's watch it again, but this time with some random stuff, music that I've added to it. Sit back and relax.
What you do. You know that all I think about is you.
And finally, grab your beverage, sit back, and enjoy the full glory of this amazing movie and wondrous scene as it was intended to be watched. Here we go.
Maximus.
Significant difference. Outstanding, right? Let's move on. Let's take a look at movie number 2 and the scene that I've chosen. We will do the exact same thing. The first time we watch this together, it will be with no audio at all. Zero sound, other than perhaps some ambient things, as is often the case, that all of the largest garbage and construction vehicles drive by my neighborhood when I'm recording, but beyond that, completely silent. The second time we watch it together, I will have added my own noise, music, and soundtrack. And then finally, we will sit back and relax and watch the scene as it was intended to be watched. Here we go. Okay, let's watch it again with my own custom added stuff, music. Let's see what's what. As you did before, just a moment ago, grab your beverage, sit back, relax, and enjoy the glory of this wondrous movie, an amazing scene, as it was intended to be watched.
Listen to me! Do you not know what is coming?
What have we done?
There it is, folks. Man, that gets me jazzed up. Good stuff. You know, after watching those 3 different ways, there isn't a lot more that needs to be said. I think the point was brought home by watching that. Audio is important, guys. Find yourself a good soundtrack. There's many ways to go about doing this. You can simply find something on YouTube, Spotify, whatever your music app of choice is. You know, set that cell phone at the center of your table. But more importantly, behind the scenes, during your prep time, find your playlists, label them, set them into different folders and whatnot. Have your playlist for the quiet, somber moments. Both of these scenes kind of had that. Find your playlist for the epic battle. Find your sort of ambient background music when there's not much going on. There's, you know, they're buying at the general store, they're looking through the player's handbook at the equipment section, they're just traveling the road. You can get a little more nuanced and specific. I know Matt Mercer does this to great effect, where there's, you know, resources out there, and obviously a lot of this you have to pay for, where, you know, you can have specific sound effects, the clang of battle and whatnot. And you can play kind of darker, grunty. Look at anything from Scandinavia. I think there's a group out there, I forget what it's called, but I'll put a link in the description, where it has that, right? You can have kind of that sound effect or that music in the background when you're about to do battle with orcs, or you can simply have on loop just the constant sounds of war drums and the clang of steel, you know, a blade against a shield or something like that. Of course, you can look to numerous video game soundtracks, you know, the MMOs, anything fantasy, Pillars of Eternity, Baldur's Gate, Divinity 2. You can find stuff, of course, from Guild Wars to World of Warcraft and so on. And what I'll do is I will, maybe not in this video, I'll comment perhaps later on as I put together my playlist and kind of wrangle through it and make it a little more efficient for you to navigate through. It's a Spotify playlist, but it might point you in some directions of the things that I use specifically. Now, understand, folks, that this stuff takes effort, takes energy and time, so I'm not going to put it on Patreon where you have to pay the $3 for the 1 month Patreon support, because I'm using music that I don't own the rights to, so I don't want to kind of get into that paywall thing. But if you're willing, if you're able, it would be wonderful. I'll put my Patreon link in the description. You know, things like that help me to keep producing this content to the level that I am. So, but regardless, for free, later on, either today, later in the week, I will comment on this video and I will put a long description or a playlist of what I specifically use at my table. But I think you see how using the appropriate soundtrack, and certainly choosing to use something, really ramps up the intensity and the value of any scene that you might be describing for any event that occurs in your game. That's all I have for you folks. Thanks everyone for watching. See you later.